Hello, welcome everybody to this video. In this tutorial, I'm just gonna show you how you could work using a base URL in MVC4 in 3 ways. So first, I just need you to create a new MVC project. Here we just gonna work with MVC5. It's almost the same as MVC3, except a few differences. So what I'm gonna do here, create a new MVC project, and this MVC project gonna be named as um, MVC5 tricks. So we just want to put a lot of things in this project and want to continuing editing and updating this project in the few related videos about C# and MVC tricks. So just gonna create this project, creating an MVC5 tricks project, as you can see here. Alright, so we continue working on this project. First thing I'm just gonna do here is install this app into my, let me say, into my GitHub account. So pretty much this is gonna open up my GitHub account and go to choose a project here in Visual Studio projects, and just gonna check MVC5 tricks and drag it and drop it into the GitHub account, as you can see here. Just gonna accept the terms and create this new project using my account here. So this is a local copy. I'm just gonna open this repo, and when I open it, just gonna commit the changes. So this is gonna be my MVC5 tricks series. Copy, commit the changes, and after we commit, we can publish these changes into the cloud. So this is gonna take a few seconds. No problem, gotta wait. Alright, so as you can see here, after deployment, you can see the app. It's up and running on GitHub. So click on GitHub. You can see here we are in GitHub MVC5 tricks. You can see here we got the code, and this is pretty much awesome. So we can continue working on our project here in MVC5. Pretty much what we're gonna do here, we're going to a view. If you go, for example, to account, to login page, you can see here we are running this page, but sometimes you need to navigate to a base URL. What do we mean by base URL? Just run the app, and let me just explain what do we mean by base URL. Base URL is the root URL of the website. So in this case, it's not login, it's not account, it's not login. The main root page, or the root URL of our page, is basically the domain name. A lot of time it's the same as the domain name. Alright, so in this case our base URL is this one. Localhost with a port number. This is our base URL. Sometimes you need to navigate to this base URL from different locations. For example, here I'm home. I'm at home controller. I'm about view. When I go to login, I'm here to login in account. So in case that you wanna add a link in other pages, for example, link for picture, link for an anchor, link for anything you want, you need to navigate to this base URL. You can put it statically by copying this URL, copying this, and put it, for example, here. And instead of saying register, I'm just going to say, alright, use the base URL as this. So you can come here and Control V. So this is our static base URL. So when you click register, you're going to do the same thing, but this is using a static base URL. In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to use dynamic base URL. There's many types, many methods, many ways you can do this. I'm just going to get started with the simplest way, using code inside the view. So I went to the login view, alright, and then I need to insert and show you the first way that we can do this. So the first way that you can do this by going to the view and inserting a base URL, define a base URL by using the helper, and for this request context we just get the home for this helper and save it to a base URL. So after you save it inside a variable using Razor engine here, so I got base URL, I need to click a URL to back to the home. So we have defined this here. You can see it. Just copy this code and paste it. You can see here is the first method that I want to show you. href equal base URL, and this base URL is just gonna basically route us to the main root of the website. So I'm just gonna save this back to the website here, to the login page that we are working on, and just navigate to it. You can see here we have click here to go. Just make this element. You can see here we just have the main root, which is /. So I'm just gonna click on this. You can see here we back to the root directory or the main page URL of the website. This is the first method that we can use here. Other method I prefer, which is gonna be used something called format absolute URL. This is much better. This is much preferable, but this is gonna use something called extended extension method. So in order to define an extension method using MVC4 or MVC5, you have to define this extension method. So for example, if you copy this right now, I'm just gonna copy it and paste it here. So this is our second method. I save it here. Notice that we got an exception here. Why we got this exception? Because this is not, this method format absolute URL is not defined. So we need to define this method somewhere in our app. So basically I prefer to do this by going to the main solution here, the main package for our solution. I go to add a new class. So I just right click, add a class, and this class is gonna be app. This is gonna be a shared class among our projects. So I'm just gonna prefer to name it as app.c#. So create this app, and inside this, out of this app class, I'm just gonna say, alright, go out of this and define an extension method. So extension method gonna be something looks like this. We're gonna define a public static class called URI helper extension. So we're gonna extend the URI helper for this URI, and here we got just gonna define a new method that's gonna be format the absolute URL. We got just gonna give it the URL for the current path, and they gotta return the absolute or the right host and host name or domain name addition for port number. So we gotta do that. So pretty much what I'm gonna do here, just copying this path, copying this class, all this class actually, just gonna copy it and just paste it inside my new class here, app.c#. Alright, so just gonna save this, and if you're back here, you're gonna see we got to resolve this problem because we add an extension to the URL. So any URL gonna be resolved and gonna be let me say gonna be fixed to the root if we use this extension class and using this extension method inside this extension class, static class. So save this, go log in again. Notice here we got go to, save this, running Chrome, and let's watch the difference. Alright, so you can see here we got the link number 1 and this is the link number 2. Inspect the element for link number 2. You can see here we got the same thing. We can go to the main page by using the URL generated from the helper URL class. So sometime in case you have an image, for example, I need to put an image. Let me just check for an image. I go to my website and I need to, for example, to get this image, open this image, alright, and save it in my project. So I'm just gonna go to my project under content. Let me just go content. Alright, I'm just gonna save my image. Oh, we have an image folder. No, we don't have an image folder. So I'm just gonna save this image in that directory. Just save it. Alright, and paste. We forgot the link. Copy the link from here, go here, just gonna save it to my project, paste. So let me just save this profile picture and stop the solution. I just want to use this way in order to include an image. So if you go to content, you don't see the image. You need to come to show all files, right click, include in the project, and after that just gonna copy this image and put it just right there. So if you save this and run it, it's gonna work. Alright, let me just watch the difference. Alright, you can see it works. Alright, but in case you want to change this, in case you want to change this location to be in case you want to change this file to be in other location, you have to do a lot of changes. So I prefer to use this way by using this format URL absolute for this content. So pretty much I'm just gonna do here, just copy this method again and put it here and cut this content and put it inside this URL. So I'm just gonna include the picture, but in this case, if you inspect the element of this picture, you can see here I just went into content profile picture. Alright, so in this way we're just gonna use the format absolute URL. Every URL on our website gonna be absolute. So I just gonna save this, run this in Chrome, and let me see the difference. It's gonna do the same thing, except that we gotta put the absolute URL for the image in the website. So notice here, when we inspect the element, you can see we got this additional unneeded, I don't know what they call this tag, but we gotta remove this tag because we just want to work directly with the absolute URL. So you don't need that. You don't need this extension. This is called the in Arabic. Shift the in Arabic. I don't need this, and I don't need this forward slash. I just put, because the positioning here, the URL gonna be relative to the absolute URL. So no need to put that inside your website. So I'm here directly from the root, so no need to put that again. So let me just save this, refresh. Alright, we got the same image, but notice here difference. We just referencing the absolute URL. And this is what we need here in order to get the absolute URL. Alright, so we saw how to work with absolute URL method for images, and we saw how to work with absolute URL with the links. There's other method that you can use here using sessions. So the other method, which is relying on session, works with the view start, the HTML here. So you need to include this code inside a session. You need to include the BaseUrl inside a session. Alright, because view start is shared among all the views. So I rely on this fact. So I just gotta copy the code and stop this, and go back to my view start, which is inside the views. And after layout, I'm just gonna say, all right, I just want to include this BaseUrl also here. So here we got additional view start included in the page. So I can, when I define a session, I say, all right, if you have no session, define it here. In case you have the same session, don't define it again. So just say, all right, just define it once. So I got my session, include the BaseUrl. I don't like this way, but you can do it in this way. Some people prefer this way. Alright, so you do the same thing inside of views by copying. Let me just show you how. Just copy the URL and paste it here after the image. I'm just gonna include the BaseUrl again, save it, and let me just go a login page. Alright, we got an error because we didn't run in the server. Let me run the server again. Alright, we got a third method, as you can see here. Inspect element, you can see we can click on the BaseUrl. We go back to our root. So this is pretty much awesome, guys. You can go log in. You can minimize the stuff. Click here, go to the main page, and go back log in. You can do the same thing. So this is pretty much awesome. This is the third way. There's another way, which is the final way that I'm gonna show you here, which is gonna use a static class or a static method. So basically, in this way, you define a class as we did here. It's app. Let me just stop the application. You define this class app, the C#, and inside this class, public app, you define a static variable and call it BaseUrl. So you can copy this code, copy this, and put the code over here. All right. And let me just uncomment this code. All right, this is gonna return the context request application path. It's gonna return the root of the website. So we're just gonna return root here, which is as we saw previously. And this is gonna rely on a static variable. So in order to call this in your app, you go home page, go login page, and I'm just gonna copy this again. And instead of saying session.baseUrl, I'm just gonna say, all right, we don't need this way. We need you to call a static variable. So here my namespace is MVC5 trick. So if you go app, the namespace is MVC5 tricks. The class name is app, and the BaseUrl is BaseUrl. So you go login. You type here MVC the app the BaseUrl static variable, and you need to save the settings, run in Chrome, and this is the fourth way that you can do this BaseUrl navigation. So let me just try run the server, as you can see here. Alright, we got this link, as you can see here, index inspect element. You can see here we got href localhost, and you can just click on 4 and navigate to the home page, as you can see here. There's another way, but I don't prefer that way actually, because in that way you need to use the application. So we have something called application. So you can define use application BaseUrl and define something like this statically or manually, and after that refer to it into your context or your code or controller view and stuff like that. But I prefer to use actually this method, format absolute URL, and because it got more control in the code and you get some normalized or some static way. Or you can use the third or the fourth method. Some people prefer to use session. You have many options, so you have to choose from them. But in my case, the easiest way is this. I prefer this, and I recommend this method. All right. This is pretty much, guys, what we talking about here in this session about MVC5 tricks, how you do routing for BaseUrl inside your pages and HTML pages navigations. We saw 4 methods, 5 methods, but we use 4 methods here. You can do comments, put comments, subscribe, and share the video. Don't forget to subscribe our channels to our 07. In the next video, we're gonna show you more tricks. But right now, I'm just gonna go my GitHub and just gonna click sync in order to sync with the current repository that we have. So you can go back here using GitHub. I like GitHub actually. You can see here we got a few changes. I can see here navigation, navigation for base URL, and copy this, put in description also, and can comment to master, and basically just can sync it again to the master, and we ready to go. You can see the code. I put it in the description for YouTube videos, and that's it. Thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe again. See you in other videos.